Good morning, students. How are you all? Good? That's great. So, are you ready for today's class? You are, right? Okay. So, today we'll start our class with a new poem. We will study about a new poem today, which is very interesting and very fine. I find it interesting and funny, and I'm very sure about you all that you all will also like it very much. So, before starting this poem, I would like to tell you something about this poem. Here in this poem, the poet has assumed a lot of things. He's fantasized a lot of things and he has written this poem, right? And as well as this poem is funny, but it is also conveying a very important message to all of us. And that message is there are some words which are spelled out same, but it has different meanings and different usages in actual. Okay, so it is funny, but it is also giving an important message. So let's start with our interesting poem. Okay, so turn out your pages, open your book and turn out your pages. Okay, it is in page number 108, and the name of a poem is Have You Ever Seen? I have written on this board, as you can see over here, Have You Ever Seen? Here the poet is anonymous. Anonymous means unknown. We don't know who the poet is. Okay, so the poem is Have You Ever Seen? First, I will recite this poem to you all. You just listen it carefully, okay? And then I will explain it. Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a bird building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? So this was the poem, and now I will explain it by line, okay? So now have a look on first stanza. First I will read out, then I will explain it, okay? Have you ever seen a sheet of a riverbed? Here what does the sheet means? Usually the sheet is used to cover the mattress, right, over the beds. We do have beds at our home and we cover that mattress with the help of a cloth or a sheet, right? So here the poet is asking, have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed? Riverbed means the bottom of the river. So here the poet is simply asking you, have you ever seen a sheet of a riverbed or a single hair from a hammer's head? You might have seen the hammer, right? The metal part of that hammer is called the head of the hammer. Okay, so we humans also do have our head, right? But the thing is, we humans have head, but on this head we have hairs also, right? But do you think hammers have hair on their head? So that is what the poet is asking. Have you ever seen or a single hair from a hammer's head? Now, the second line says, has the foot of a mountain any toes? The word foot means, here in this poem, according to this poem, the foot means two different things. One is we humans do have our foot, right? Another here, according to this poem, another meaning of the foot means, foot of a mountain means the base of a mountain, right? So here the poet is asking, has the foot of a mountain any toes? We humans have foot as well as toes, right? So here the poet is asking, has the foot of a mountain any toes? Another line says, and is there a pair of garden hose? Here I have written the meaning of a hose over here. As you can see, hose means stockings or long socks, right? It means that. But according to this poem, the poet is asking, and is there a pair of garden hose? According to this poem, hose means flexible metal which is helped in watering the plants. Okay, now we'll move to the second stanza. Does the needle ever wink its eye? It is very funny, right? Does the needle ever wink its eye? You might have seen a needle at your home, right? So the opening part of the topmost part of the needle have some small opening, right? You have seen it. You might have seen it, right? So that opening part is called needle's eye. Okay. So here the poet is asking you, does the needle ever wink its eye? Because we humans also have eyes, right? But we can wink our eyes. Wink means like closing and opening of an eye, as you can see, like we do this sometimes, right? Right? So here the poet is saying, does the needle ever wink its eye? Of course, needle cannot wink its eye. Like it does not have any movements, as we can move our eyes on top, at the bottom, right, left, wherever we want. But needles cannot. And here the poet is asking, have you ever seen that needle can wink its eye? Of course, no. But it sounds very funny, right? Another line says, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Here in this end of this lesson, end of this page, you can see there is word banks, and here is the meaning of the wing. As you can see here, wing means a part of the building that sticks out from the main part. Okay, wings actually have the two meanings. One is birds. You have seen birds, right? Birds have their wings which helps them to fly, and here the wing means a part of a building that sticks out from the main part. So poet is asking you, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Like birds can fly, the bird's wings help them to fly, then why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Okay, another line says, can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Parasol means literally means umbrella. Okay, ribs, again here the ribs have two meanings. As one meaning of ribs is, it is part of a human body. We do have our ribs, right? Another is the curved portion, the umbrella have the curves, right? That is called ribs. Another line says, or open the trunk of a tree at all. Trunk, the word trunk also have two meanings here. You might have seen a tree, right? The tree have trunk, the hard portion, the hard part of a tree, the brown, it is brown color, right? That is called trunk. Okay, so and another meaning of trunk is it is a kind of box in which an important thing or articles are being kept. Okay, now we'll move on to third stanza. Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Now rake, the meaning of rake is a gardening tool. I don't know you have seen it or not, but rake means it is a tool, a gardening tool, which is helped in removing the trees, in cleaning or removing the dried leaves, right? So here but it is like, its shape is like teeth, right? So, and we humans also have teeth. So with the help of this we can eat food, we can bite, right? So here the poet is asking, are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Because we can bite, but he's asking, can rake bite? Can rake can bite like as we humans do? Of course not, right? The poet is assuming these kinds of things. So it is very funny to read this poem, but interesting. Have the hands of a clock any left or right? We humans have hands, right? We have right hand, we have left hand, right? And you have seen clock at your homes, we all have, right? So clock, the hands of the clock which shows hours, minutes, seconds, that we call it hands, right? So here the poet is asking that the hands of a clock have any left or right? And another line says, can the garden plot be deep and dark? Here, the plot means the main events of a novel or a play or a film, etc. Okay, so plot means that. Okay, so here the poet is asking, can the garden plot be deep and dark? Because we might have seen skits, dramas, right? Skits, dramas, and some films, events, right? In there also it is very deep, dark kind of stories. So he is just asking, and another meaning of the plot is a land. An area of a land is also known as plot. Okay. Plot has two meanings. One, as we have read here, the main events of a novel or a play or a film, etc. And another is an area of a land is also known as plot. Okay. So here the poet is asking, can the garden plot be deep and dark? As the real stories, the stories have the deep and dark like plots. And the last line says, and what is the sound of a bitch bark? Bark also have two meanings over here. Like tree has its bark, right? That hard portion is called bark. Okay. Another is the sound of a dog is also known as bark. Like dog barks, right? It makes bobo kind of sound, right? So that is called barking. So here the poet is asking, and what is the sound of the bitch bark? Can the bitch can have the same sound as the dog do? Can they bark? He's asking that. All these questions, he's assuming all these kinds of questions. Okay. So now children, we are done with our explanation of this poem. I hope you have understood this. If you haven't, then you can ask me. Okay. So now, as we have completed this poem, now I would like to ask you some questions regarding this. Okay. What is the difference between wings of a building and wings of a bird? Can anyone answer? Yes, very good. The difference between the wings of a building and the wings of a bird is the wings of a bird helps bird to fly, whereas the wing of a building, which means it is just a part of a building. Okay. Another question I would like to ask you is, what do you understand by the line, has the foot of a mountain any toes? Can anyone answer this? Yes, very good. The meaning of this line, has the foot of a mountain any toes, it simply means that here the poet is asking that we humans have foot and we have toes, right? Likewise only does the mountains have foot and they have toes or not. He's just asking that. He's just thinking all that. So this is the line. This is the meaning of this line. Okay. So now children, as we are done with this poem, so now I would like to give you home assignment which you have to do at your home, and I will check it tomorrow. Okay. So I'm writing on it board. Please do copy in your notebook. I'm giving you 2 questions. You have to complete it, okay? So first question is, what does the ribs of the parasonal refers to? Another question is, what is the relationship between a needle and the eye? Okay. So this much for today's class. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you, class.